Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It is episode 2 of the road back to Chicago. That's what I'm calling it. I'm trying to I think come up with a name for the series, like Redemption at Chicago Marathon. Yeah, we are officially week 2. This will be episode 2, and technically I am in week 3 of Chicago training. I always try and remember how many marathon paced weekend sessions I've done, then I'm I know exactly which week I'm in. You might be able to hear it in my voice, but I am getting over an illness, and I literally, guys, I get ill maybe once or twice a year, and so for me to be ill right now, I'm just this was not what I needed this week. But we are persevering, and we did take some rest time off of running because I am of the opinion that you need to rest if you are ill. Otherwise, it is warm. It is very hot in London. We have actually finally reached summer, and so I have shut the windows to try and help with audio for this, but I'm also have my water bottle very close next to me because I'm going to be sweaty and going to be sweating very quickly, so I hope this t-shirt does not show any of those stains. But I just wanted to say, if you are new here, welcome to the YouTube channel. So happy to have you here. And if you have been a longtime subscriber, I am very grateful for you and just people who return to watch the videos every single week. It is the reason that I get to do some pretty cool opportunities, and I'm very, very grateful for it, and very grateful to be just living out my dream of actually committing to YouTube. So I've really been loving that this year, so I just want to say thank you guys for that. As we always do with these episodes for my marathon training series, we go over a couple of key sessions, or what I think are key sessions during my weeks. And so the week that we'll be reviewing is kind of this past week gone, but we're going to be reviewing the interval session that I did this morning, because I'm always ahead on the interval sessions, but a little bit behind on the long runs, if that makes sense, just because of when I record. And so yeah, we will be kind of reviewing last week. So last week was another 50-mile week. I hit 50 miles just before the London 10K, and so this was when I was still base building. So I spent June slowly increasing back up to 50 miles, and then I took a couple of weeks of a deload week for Chicago. I took a deload week for the London 10K, obviously, to just taper a bit and get the legs fresh. And then obviously we're not going to jump right into high mileage again. We always have to build back up very slowly. And as much as I want to do high mileage, my coach always keeps me sensible and honest. So, but yeah, last week was a 50-mile week, and I am feeling genuinely just really good with my training. I feel the only downside of last week was that I got ill, and these things happen, but I feel today I am genuinely 90% back to full health, and I'm starting to feel better again. So luckily I got to kick this in about 3 days, and I got hit hard with it right after my Sunday run. And then yeah, ever since I've just been resting and kind of taking things easy. But I'm excited to get into the sessions because I feel we are just getting into marathon training now. And I keep saying this on social media and on YouTube as well. I just feel I know these paces. I know how I've learned so much. I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but it is just crazy that in a year you can reflect and be wow, I have learned so much. I am prioritizing things differently. I am just training differently, and my approach to it is so different. And so I'm really excited to be sharing this and just sharing this journey of what training has looked like with marathon training, but especially in the journey to BQ, and just sharing that these things don't come easy, and it's not something that many of us get on the first try. And I think that that's the reason why I've wanted to be so transparent about what my journey has looked like, and why failing is a very normal part of that journey. But yeah, I'm gonna stop blabbering on about all of this, but let's just jump into both of my sessions from this past week. We're gonna start with actually my Sunday long run that was done on Friday, because we went on a really fun hike on Saturday, and it was very hilly, and I knew that I was gonna be sore, and I'm really glad because I was sore on Sunday. So I left my medium long run for Sunday and kind of swapped it around with Friday. So Friday we did a session at Victoria Park. It's my favorite park. I feel it's my new favorite long run park. For London, I really loved Battersea Park, and for Chicago, I'm really feeling Victoria Park. So we're just switching it up. But yeah, I cycled over and I did a 2-mile warm up followed by 3x3 miles at marathon pace and a 2-mile cool down. So I will roll the clips and then we will just jump right into it. Hey, welcome to Sunday long run on a Friday. We are cycling to Victoria Park.
which is about 4 miles, which is kind of a lot, but I really don't like taking the overground. But we just got here, so we'll park up and get started. Okay, we're at the park now, just warming up and about to go into 3 sets of 3 miles at marathon pace. Just had one of these, so let's get going. Okay, for the first set we did 7:51, 7:50, and 7:51, so pretty good. My coach wanted me to start a bit closer to 7:50, so we have more energy for the last two, but yeah, happy with that first one. Getting ready for the second. Okay, second set was 7:58, 7:50, and 7:53. So far just one that wasn't in pace, but I really wanted to save it for this last one, so I'm ready to go. It definitely also is a lot to get used to gels again. I'm trying to take it every 3 miles, and my stomach is like, okay, one more of these. Okay, we had our last and final set. My watch said 7:50, 7:42, 7:43, but that last one felt really fast, so maybe it'll show up different on the app, but we did have one final gel, so practicing one gel every 3 miles, technically 3.5, but yeah, felt good. Feel really strong and I'm proud of that, and yeah, can't wait for the next one. Hello? Okay, that is done. I'm gonna get a coffee.
Yeah, essentially, I had a really good session, another solid marathon pace session where I really feel like I executed the paces really well. Again, with anything like this where you're doing 3 by 3 miles at marathon pace, I really wanted to save most of my energy for that final third set. So I didn't want to go out too fast. I didn't want to blow up and use all my energy and then not have anything left for the last two. So to be specific, it was 3 sets of 3 miles at marathon pace. And then after each set, we had a half-mile recovery. And so yeah, the first set was pretty spot on. My coach kind of wanted me to start at that 7:50 sort of pacing and then kind of see how that feels and then go from there. The second set, it was really funny because I don't know if I got this on video or not, but I went out and on that first mile, I sort of knew that I was going a little bit slow. Like, that's how good I know these paces, guys. Like, it's really crazy. But like, I kind of like, cause I saw the time pop up on my Coros watch and I kind of laughed because I was like, you know that you're kind of like taking things a little bit too easy right now, like, come on. And so yeah, the last 2 miles in that set were again kind of like right on pace. And then yeah, that third set, honestly, that felt amazing. And like that final mile as well, like I kind of almost felt like for the second mile of those 3 miles, I feel like I was going really hard and then I was like, oh shoot, like, do I not have enough to give for the final mile? And I didn't. And yeah, 7:36 was a great mile to finish on. Obviously, I probably should not be pushing things so hard. And my coach reminded me, like, let's just, not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not push things too hard. Like, let's just keep things just humble and contained and just go out and execute what we know what to do. Had a really good session, went and got a coffee and a pastry from the pavilion and cycled home and had a really good session on Friday. So that felt really good. Again, another marathon pace session that just is giving me so much confidence that I know how to execute these paces. I know what that pace feels like, but not only that, I know how to do this sensibly and I know how to like save and preserve that energy to save for those final bits and really go out at quite a sensible and almost like even pace. Honestly, like most of those were 7:50s with the exception of that first mile of the second set. But I feel like otherwise, like I am just like, I've learned this pace so much over the past year. So it feels really good to like be able to do these sessions really well. Oh, it is so warm in this flat. Even wearing white, I'm like, it's so hot. Okay, so yeah, this morning's session, like I said, I've been getting over the flu, or at least I think it's the flu because I tested negative for COVID and I've just been feeling really, really rough. And it's been like an all over sort of like body cold where you have like the aches, you go through the sore throat, you go through like all the little bits of a flu or a cold. And I'm at the very end of it. And honestly, like yesterday I went out for an easy 6-mile run and yesterday was the first day that I started to feel better. And I was just like, I'm just going to go out and take this super super easy. And like the first bit, I'm not gonna lie, really sucked. It was hard, but then it just like gradually got better, and I kind of just like sat at a 9:30 pace. This morning I woke up and felt miles better, but again, like I said, like I feel like I'm sort of like 90%, like I'm almost there. And so I kind of like went into this interval session like thinking like, okay, you know, it might go as most interval sessions have been going, or you might struggle a bit because you've been ill, and let's just be honest. But yeah, this morning's session was 8 sets of 800-meter reps and then 2 sets of 300-meter reps. So I'm going to roll the clips and then we are going to just jump into it. Okay, we're back at the track for Track Wednesday. Today we've got, I'm just going to finish the warm up on the track, but today we've got 8 times 800 meters and then 2 times 300 meters and working at like 5 and 10K paces. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm getting over a cold, so I have no idea how this is going to go, but we'll see and just work hard. Okay, first 800 done. I think that was 7:13. I was trying to keep it easy. My coach wants it to be around 7:10 pace. My chest still feels a little not good from the illness, but yeah, it's starting to rain a little bit, so we'll see. Okay, 3, 4, and 5 were 7:19, 7:20, and 7:16. My chest just feels not great, and I kind of was feeling like I was gonna vomit in the beginning, which has never happened, but I've been trying to save energy for the final half, so the second half. So now I'm gonna see what I can do and hopefully speed it up a little bit, but if not, that's okay. My body's just not there today, which is fine. Okay, just sitting for this 90-second break. It feels like I can't like breathe in all the way, which makes sense because I had quite a sore throat, coffee, illness, but I did not test positive for COVID, so I think that it's just something that my partner caught from the office. But just taking a break and getting my heart rate back down, and we'll go again. Okay, I think I'm losing my voice, but I did 7:13, I think, and then just now 7:17. So just 2 more. I'm just keeping it steady today. I'm not going to push it. Maybe for the last 300s, but I am not feeling good today. Okay, number 7 was 7:08. We have 1 more, and I definitely had to sit on the grass for that one because I am struggling, and for some reason really close to vomiting on some of these, but we're gonna push through and then finish the 300-meter reps and then go rest at home. Last one. Okay, 800-meter was 7:09, I think. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't know if this is too TMI, but we're just that close now. I genuinely thought I was gonna shit myself on that last lap. It was rough. All right, all done. I'll share stats. Session done. I tried to pace it really sensibly, and now we're gonna cool down, go back and rest up and take the rest of the week easy before Sunday's marathon pace session this weekend. Okay, so yeah, I think like overall this was a really good session given the circumstances of coming off of an illness, and I think that was what was important, is like in that one clip, like I was saying to myself, like even if I'm not necessarily hitting as fast of paces as I want to or I know I'm capable of on like a really good healthy day, like I feel like last week's episode where like I just really feel like I can rip into these workouts and I feel really, really strong, really, really good. Like that's when I'm at full health and I feel totally good and confident in myself. And today I went into that first rep and I was just like, okay, this is gonna be hard. And I genuinely, I still felt a little bit of like tightness in my chest, and I still felt like I was kind of like, ooh, like it's a little bit hard to breathe in fully, and it's a little bit hard to like really, I don't know, like take deep breaths, especially when like you're pushing yourself. And today was more focused on like 5K, 10K paces. And my coach wasn't wanting me to aim with like the 800-meter reps more for like a 7:10 pace. And so I got close in some, but I feel like overall I went into these reps and like what I felt throughout was like I could push more, but I really feel like it would kind of just be like the image that comes to mind is just like squeezing a wet towel and you're just like drenching it and squeezing every last bit of water out of it. And so I just wanted to remain pretty consistent and kind of just keep things pretty easy. And I wanted to just like kind of, yeah, I guess like not keep things easy, but like keep things really consistent and just like do the pace that I know is still a solid pace and still pretty close to my 10K pace. pace. And then yeah, for those last 300-meter reps, they were a good chance to really go for it and just see what I could do. And yeah, I feel like a pretty consistent pace for the 800-meter reps, sitting at around 7:08 to 7:20. And then the 300-meter reps were 6:33 and 6:21, so felt really good. And yeah, I was definitely pretty dead. My cooldown was like pretty slow, which is okay. And obviously, like when I say like my cooldown is slow, like it's so specific to like your own training and like your own pacing and just like what you run at. So I don't want to say that like my pace is slow and that means that anyone that runs at that pace is slow. I'm just saying like from my own experience of like knowing what a typical cooldown looks like for me, like this cooldown was just a lot slower than usual just because I really felt like drained of energy after today's interval session. But I am all good now. I have refueled and recovered. Yeah, I feel like by tomorrow I should be like back to full health and I should be totally okay. But those are the 2 sessions that I'm going to cover this week. For the rest of the week, we're going to be doing more easy runs. And then this Sunday, we've got another marathon pace session, but you'll just have to wait until next week to see what the session is like. But the final thing that I will say is that I want to share some snippets from a talk that I actually gave at Tracksmith here in London. Tracksmith are an incredible group that I actually kind of stumbled upon during one of my longest long runs from my London marathon training block. And it was just a run that I didn't want to do alone. I joined one of their long runs and I loved it. They have incredible long runs and just runs in general on a weekly basis. And I really enjoy their sessions. And if you're a runner in London, I honestly recommend that you go and check them out. I know that they're also global and have many other locations. I was so honored to be asked to speak about self-compassion at their Be More You chats, which happen once a month on a Tuesday here in London. It's run by Shaw and Annabelle. They're incredible people in the running space. And yeah, like I said, I felt so honored that I got to go and speak, and I shared quite a deep conversation about self-compassion. You guys know, if you listen to the podcast, I am no stranger to mental health and just sharing my story. And so I wanted to do just that. I will say that I feel like I wrote this speech up and I feel like I practiced it so many times and I timed it and everything, but it just is so different when you get in front of people and you're talking about something really deep. So I definitely feel like I was stumbling over my words a little bit more. I was a little bit nervous, but I do hope that you enjoy this. And I'll, just share some snippets in this video. And then if you want to listen to the full thing, I'll have that audio in this week's podcast episode. So if you want to go and listen to the full thing, I'll have it linked in the description box below. But yeah, I just want to say thank you again to Annabelle and Shaw and the lovely people at Tracksmith, because honestly, they're such incredible people in the running community. And I've just enjoyed, running with them and really enjoyed this chat.
Hello, for those who don't know me, my name is Liz, distance runner. I've run 8 marathons and currently training for number 9. Before we begin, I actually did want to share the definition of self-compassion that, Shaw's already kind of shared, but I found it interesting that it said that in psychology, self-compassion refers to the compassion to oneself in instances of perceived inadequacy, failure, or general suffering. And about what calories were, and I got all too familiar with the scale in my parents' bathroom. I created this goal for myself to shrink myself. And that's sort of where it all went downhill. Though I struggled massively mentally with anxiety and depression, he was sort of the one person out of everyone that was truly so concerned for my well-being. And I think especially as women, there's this idea that is pushed onto us that like, in order to be happy, you should be as small as you possibly can, which is just not true. And the thing is, it actually didn't satisfy me. And I learned that I could never truly be satisfied with any number on a scale, any size on a pair of jeans or a dress. And instead that I should then focus, which I did focus during my 2-year recovery journey, on actually showing myself love after years and years of harm. I think the biggest change I can attribute this to is self-compassion.
Otherwise, that sort of wraps up today's episode 2. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I'll get that in the shot. And comment below if you are also training for Chicago, or if you have any questions or topics for me to cover in future videos. Also, remember that I have a podcast that comes out every single Friday at 6 a.m. GMT, so just 4 hours ahead of this upload time on Fridays. So if you want to go and check that out, feel free to. I'll have a link in the description box below. And lastly, make sure to subscribe. I come out with a new video every single Friday at 10 a.m. GMT, and we are not going to stop producing the Chicago content. So I'm going to keep coming out with more episodes for this marathon training series, and I'm really excited to share this journey with you and excited to share and see what we can do in Chicago this fall. And so make sure to stick around and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.